What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the MovieDash podcast brought to you by Laoya.net, a podcast where we review movies, TV series, and round up the week with a discussion on an iron hot topic in the world of cinema. I'm Dashran Yohan, and joining me today to review Last Christmas is local film producer and director Patrick Lim.
You! Again.
What do you mean again?
Did you follow me here?
Are elves always so cynical?
Yes, relentlessly. These are dark times.
I'm Tom.
Kate?
So, Last Christmas is directed by Paul Feig and stars Emilia Clarke, Henry Golding, and Michelle Yeoh. The film centers around Kate, played by Emilia Clarke, an aspiring actress who also works full-time at a Christmas decoration and gift shop. There's a sad cloud that constantly hovers over her head. She's estranged from her family, her acting career isn't going according to plan, she's constantly zoning out during her day job, and she's pretty much homeless, crashing either at a friend's place or at random guys she hooks up with after getting pissed drunk at a bar. Insert Henry Golding's Tom, a cute guy she meets outside her workplace one day, and then they go on their little adventures together. So, Patrick, did you like the movie? What are some of your overall thoughts about Last Christmas?
It's whimsical.
Okay.
Well, it's a Christmassy film.
Right.
Yeah, and I like it a lot.
Yeah. I think I'm with you on that. It's not a masterpiece, right? It's not a masterpiece. It's not a perfect movie. But then again, you don't go to Christmas movies expecting like this slice of pure cinema. You know, that's not why you go to these movies. You go to these movies to see good-looking people, to laugh, to cry, you know, to cozy up to your loved ones. And on that front, I think, this Paul Feig movie does have a lot to offer,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So what are some of the things you like about the movie?
I like Emilia Clarke in this film.
Okay.
Yeah. And I like the relationship that she has with Michelle Yeoh's character. Yeah. I mean, there's this kind of like a surrogate mother to a daughter kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, and you mentioned Emilia Clarke, right? I think we should talk about her because outside of Game of Thrones, her Hollywood career, like she hasn't actually like exactly lit the world on fire. Let's just say, you know, like Me Before You, I wasn't a big fan of, but that's not really her fault. And also this, like she was totally miscast as Sarah Connor in Terminator Genesis. But I feel like here, she's great.
Yes.
Right? And because like one of the reasons why I feel this character really works, a lot of it has to do with Emilia Clarke, because this character has to do two things. On a action standpoint, it has to be the kind of character that makes you kind of annoyed because she's doing a lot of insufferable things, right? She goes to her friend's house and she always messes something up. Her friends give her another chance and another chance. She always messes up. She's messing up at work and all that. And she's not a very fun character to be around from what she's doing.
Right.
But yet, she has to be a character that's very, very likable.
Yes.
And Emilia Clarke has that. You know, she can do all these things in character, like, you know, do all these things. She messes up constantly. But she, as an actor, just has that thing where she just always radiates.
Correct.
Right? She has that bubbly charm that, you know, can melt 1,000 orcs.
Yes.
Melt the hearts of 1,000 orcs. Before we go to Michelle Yeoh, let's talk about the other lead character of the film, right? And that is Henry Golding. What do you make of him in the movie?
Henry Golding is good in the film. I mean, he kind of like just he's there doing things that are required, and he does it well.
Yeah. Because so like here's what I think of Henry Golding, right? We haven't seen enough of him, like in terms of stretching his range to see like how much acting caliber he really has.
Right.
But as far as this rom-com or like comedy box goes, I think he'll be cashing in paychecks for a very, very long time to come.
True.
Right? Because he just has that boyish charm and that undeniable charisma about him.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. And someone out there, I don't know how they just completely just perfectly casted the mother and son
Yeah.
from Crazy Rich Asian, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, like your reference to Crazy Rich Asians, of course, Henry Golding's character, and also like you mentioned earlier, Michelle Yeoh. So what did you think of Michelle Yeoh in this movie? Because I mean, this is not Michelle Yeoh from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, is
No,
she?
no. I think for Michelle Yeoh,
Yeah.
I feel that she started to kind of like stretched her acting abilities a bit more in Crazy Rich Asian.
Yes.
And in this, she goes a bit more her comedic
Yes.
side of it.
Because even in Crazy Rich Asians, yeah, definitely stretching like, because prior to Crazy Rich Asians, I mean, when we look at most of her movie, especially her good movies or the ones that people really remember her for, it's always this action movies.
Correct.
And she's playing this total badass, which is good because not many people can really play that with conviction, especially like in like Crouching Tiger and all that. She's like really, really fantastic in. That's probably the role people will remember her for the rest of her life. But like you said, in Crazy Rich Asian, she started to spread her wings a little bit more. Whereas here, complete 180.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she has some of the most funniest lines and moments in
yes.
the film.
True.
Because like there's this one scene, like just to give you put things into perspective, there's this one scene where when she sees this middle-aged suave guy coming into the shop and she actually giggles like a 15-year-old.
Yeah. Yes.
Or how do you like compare this to, let's say, like something like a Bridesmaids or Spy?
I think with this film, it's his least broad comedic film.
Okay.
Right, like Spy is quite broad in terms of right. I think Bridesmaid is quite broad also. That whole, I think, peeing on the road scene,
pooping on the road,
pooping on the road scene,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And this one is more down to earth.
Yes.
Yeah, but what he adds in is this kind of like whimsical Christmas feel.
Yes.
To the whole thing. And also, the film reminded me of very much of a Richard Curtis type of film.
Yeah. I would agree there because it's not Paul Feig. Usually, his comedies are like start to finish, laugh out loud, crazy things are happening and all that, and he does that very well. But here, it has a lot of dramatic elements. It's very, like you say, grounded and all that. But what he does bring is throughout the movie, because Emma Thompson's script is good. Like, I mean, there's a lot of good quips and all that. But Paul Feig, he does these quick cutaways sometimes. He inserts like this, the way he cuts away from certain characters or does his little cheeky inserts. I think it just makes the whole thing even more funnier.
Yeah.
Right? So both of us agree that it's a funny movie. But this is something we had a quick discussion of after we watched the film and we came out of the cinema. And I think you have less of a problem with it than me.
Yes.
So, okay, I will go first and tell why that one big thing about the movie that didn't work for me. And then you can, sort of make a positive case for it, right? So, for me, the thing that didn't work is the twist. So, we won't spoil what the twist is, of course. But the twist, to me, although from a logical standpoint, which I think you will talk about more later, it kind of makes sense. But to me, from an emotional standpoint, it still felt kind of deceptive. It felt like an unnecessary change of tone that somehow I feel didn't belong in a movie of this nature, or at least based on everything that has come before. So it felt like a sudden stab in the heart or something that, I don't know, it kind of made me feel like how I felt watching the final episode of How I Met Your Mother, where, like suddenly everything takes this dark turn, What did you think? Do you think the twist worked?
I didn't think that the twist was dark.
Okay.
But what I thought was that everything in leading to the twist was already preempted to us.
Okay.
Yeah, because the character just comes out of nowhere, right?
Yes.
And then he goes off of nowhere. Also,
Yeah.
right?
I think it definitely makes sense from a logical standpoint, like because there are certain things that happen throughout the movie that when it happens, you kind of say like, oh, okay, I see how this makes sense. But for me, I think it just, I don't know, I don't hate it, but I don't know. I think what bothers me more than the twist itself is what happens after the twist and how the impact of the twist feels very glossed over and the movie kind of rushes to the end, to the very expected happy ending. So to me, like just another quick dislike is that I think there's another aspect or theme they introduce in the film, which is basically xenophobia in this post-Brexit world and how there's certain like racism things that are going on and all. And I get the intent. So the intent is basically it's Christmas. Let's celebrate, let's put aside our differences and celebrate this whole idea of togetherness and all that, which I get it. I get the point of it, but it just, I don't know, like because it wasn't explored in depth. It was kind of just there, like, a Christmas miracle for the sake of a Christmas miracle, let's just say. But other than that, I'm with you. I think this is like, in an era where we are not going to get that many rom-coms in cinemas anymore.
Correct.
So I think like we are going to get a truckload of rom-coms and Christmas comedies straight to Netflix this year. Yeah, because just the era that we live in right now. But I think like this is coming out in cinemas, and I think for the holiday season, I think it accomplished whatever it needed to.
True.
Right?
True. And also the music, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Special mention to George Michael's songs and all that. Heal the Pain, Last Christmas, Praying for Time. Oof.
Yes. So, I mean, both of us are giving it a, like, like it's thumbs up from both of us.
Yes.
It's a I mean, like in a time like this where you want to go and watch a movie like this, Last Christmas is definitely worth checking out. And that's pretty much our thoughts on Last Christmas. Now it's time for your take. Let us know what you think by hitting us up on the MovieDash on Twitter. If you like our podcast, be sure to subscribe to MovieDash on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast from. There's also a video version on YouTube for those of you who like to check out our not so beautiful faces. Also, if you'd like to follow us both on social media, you can follow Patrick at
Instagram at limpatrick69.
and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @talksmovies. Until next time, bye-bye.